So I guess my first question. So it's 12 18 22 at 12:45 a.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. I'm asking questions about yeah, what the overall goals of the federal government are in my case, or I'm trying to understand what the rules are related to the FISA court and the FISA situation, right? So, you know, well, what it seems to me is that, so just in cartoon terms, since you may tell it straight up, huh? It seems to me that there's this sort of manifest destiny with the way we're triaging and handling. I mean, I call it diagnostic intent within computer diagnostics. Basically, that if you're intending to, if you're a network person and you're looking for network symptoms and you find one, you suspect that it's a network problem, and it may or may not be. And so you have to get out. So I think it's called investigative bias is, and so the question is like, what does this investigative bias involve exactly? And are we taking, like in my use case, which again I feel like I'm a sampling. I pray that I'm not. I'm pray that I'm the only use case that this has happened to. But I suspect, based off of what I witnessed, was no controls on this interface, right? And so this Pegasus NSO interface, whatever the other versions are, I'm not sure, but uh, tons of interoperability and man in the middle attacks, very very sophisticated man in the middle attacks with AI and all kinds of stuff. um, uh, but anyway, the technology is not important. What's important is that like these capabilities and um, how they're being used to isolate, intimidate, provoke, conceal. Um, um, and disrupt. Uh, did I say manipulate? I mean, like manipulate just seems like this is sort of like a psychopathic idea, right? Like that you're gonna tediously like kind of control the parameters around somebody's life. It seems psychopathic to me. I think like clinically it would be psychopathic to do this. um, could you do it in a pleasant way? I mean, like putting flowers out on the table and this sort of thing. Is that manipulating somebody's life? That's this interface lends to both of these sorts of ideas. Somebody leaving flowers on your table, and also someone taking a dump in your bed. I mean, like when I say that, I mean like you pull up your news feed and there's just straight degrading insults being injected in through man in the middle attacks, which it can. As an SRE, as a site reliability engineer, I've worked on the quality side of things. Uh, and so I'm used to feeling the difference between AIs and just overall um, uh, the feel and operation and the patterned behavior expressed by different AIs are different. I mean, it depends on the training model, and when they contrast with one another, you can really see it. You know it intuitively. It can be anything from changes in formatting, like alternate formatting, or I'll get into the techniques later. But basically, the question is like, what are the implications of, you know, uh, um, any group of people being able to manipulate native functionality, consumer product functionality. Like, I think that's one of the things that really kind of aggravated me the most was on my brand new iPad, on my brand new iPhone, on my brand new iMac, on my brand new MacBook Pro, on my brand new Android devices. The native functionality was being overridden in a way that hasn't been quality tested like the native software is, right? Or the native apps are. So Facebook goes through this like full quality control process to make sure that the app and all the little features in the app work a certain way. And when they're doing man in the middle attacks, these attack techniques have not been tested in the same way. And so they've not been rigorously regression tested. And so as such, they're not operating at 100%. So you see all this sort of like malfunctioning that happens in the device, from freezing to rebooting every once in a while. It's things that sound like kind of spyware-esque, but other things like on the Vizio implementation, it'll cut off volume, or I won't be able to use the power button. I'll have to unplug it and plug it back in. There's been manipulation of my TV. Like when I'm bad and I try to send emails and get people's attention around my situation, like the TV gets shut off. They'll shut off my TV from the Android backend, from the NSO spyware that's installed on the Android backend of my TV. They will that they can manipulate the content. Again, I don't think there's any cameras in my TV unless they've swapped the TV, but that sounds paranoid. I'm assuming that they haven't done that. This whole process lends to paranoia, or induces paranoia. There's is some level of paranoia appropriate and good? And you're like, yeah, you have to keep yourself safe, and you have to sort of watch out people trying to take advantage of you, this sort of thing, right? So it's like basic stuff, but their playbook actually preys on this, and it preys on playing sort of jack in the box with the person, and spooking them into. I think they find it hilarious. I think, from the degrading stuff that's happened to me, this whole humiliation challenge that I've been through for the last 30 months or whatever, there's a lot of celebration around my humiliation. but nonetheless, the real question is like, why are we here? And the answer is because they're trying to define me as something that they need to be true in order to justify their course and this sort of thing. And so what they've done is I haven't got an explanation for why this started. Nobody will talk to me. The government is completely antisocial. The local police departments are antisocial with me. Not necessarily here on the Big Island, but in Oahu they are. They can't talk to me, right? The same sort of thing with the FBI. The same sort of thing happened with Mecklenburg County Police in Charlotte. Same thing happened with the Pennsylvania State Police in Greensburg. Just super antisocial. But then with this manipulation aspect, it becomes really psychopathic. So we have this combination of antisocial and psychopathic. What I'm saying, if this were an individual that was presenting this way, I would be concerned. But the fact that it's an entire group acting this way, it lends me to think, is this policy? Is this procedure? Is it what's failing us? Is it cultural? Is it bad leadership? I don't understand it. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I'll be good. What do you want me to do? I don't want to join you. Is that all right? I was happy in the life I was living before I was brutally targeted and interrupted, and I've survived your little test and went through the whole humiliation challenge. So my thought is I could get back to work and bringing medicine to Africa and doing, art and the things that I was working on, and you guys could go back to like actually, catching things before they happen or whatever you don't do, or no offense, no offense. I know it's stingy, I know it's disrespect, I appreciate everybody's service, don't get me wrong, but why it breaks my heart that your leader is failing, not just y'all but the country. This is all right. I'll take it easy on him. I know he's got a hard job and he's got some big sharks that hopefully, he'll reel in some good catch soon, and it won't be uh, we can repurpose the resources working on this project on like real stuff. Does that make sense? And y'all can buy the book. Does that make sense? Buy the book. That's all I've ever said. Do it. Buy the book. Hallelujah.